Hey folks, Mary Grace and Tom early, and I see June has been here and left. Christmas party at work. Well, that's what I was going to talk about tonight anyway, so I guess June's got it covered. Or that's part of what I was going to talk about tonight. Oh me, how y'all doing? Mary Grace, staying warm up there? Tom is. Tom's not like you and me. He doesn't get cold when it just gets cool. Oh me. Long underwear time here in Georgia. Uh, wouldn't need it in the house, but needed it going outside. Temps in the 40s today. We were in the 50s today. And for the next 10 days, our lows at night are going to be in the mid 40s and up to mid 50s. Next Tuesday, not day after tomorrow, but the next Tuesday is the next day our lows go back down into the 30s. I think next Tuesday night's supposed to be 34, but forecasters can't forecast that far ahead anyway, so it'll change. Raining. It started raining about midnight last night. Been raining all day, all night, all day, and it'll quit about noon tomorrow. Not a hard rain, just a steady drizzle. More than a drizzle. It's getting the ground soaked. It's a muddy mess out in the pig pen. I know that. You see stay near the wood stove, Tom. Let's see, which hand? This one. No, this one. You see what's over my shoulder. I'm sitting about 18 inches from it. Oh, me. Fighting a headache. Thomas, you know the smart aleck response to that, don't you? Smart aleck response to I've got a headache. Let's see if Tom knows the smart aleck response. If he doesn't, I'll tell him. Is that yep, it's a tension headache, or yep, you know the smart aleck response? Well, you must know a different smart aleck response than I do, Tom. Smart aleck response I know fits on a family channel. If my head hurt like that, it would ache too. If my head looked like that, it would ache too. Well, it's a minute after 6, time to start the show. And I'm going to dispense with the typical house cleaning in the morning. Both of y'all know about my book. If you want it, you've gotten it. If you don't want it, you hadn't. Uh, Two things I am going to mention here at the first, and I'll say some more as we go through, probably as more people come in. I might add them in if we get some newbies. But the two things is, don't forget, Christmas Eve morning, I want to say 9 o'clock, it might be 10 o'clock Eastern time, the Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols from King's College in Cambridge, England. Way up there at the very top, the first or second comment in here, Tom's got a link to it. And the other one, if y'all hear me say it once, you're going to hear me say it 1,000 times, even with the same people over and over. Favorite charity. Go down there in the description. If you got a few extra bucks you want to throw some way that does some good, and you don't like big charities like I don't, you couldn't get me to give a penny to the United Way or the Red Cross. But the Atlanta Hope Lodge, the Winn-Dixie Hope Lodge, Winn-Dixie was the main sponsor when it was started. For you folks up north, Winn-Dixie, I don't know if it's up there, but down here, Winn-Dixie's a big grocery chain. But the Winn-Dixie Hope Lodge, fantastic place to throw a few pennies if you've got a few. Yeah, there's the link again, Tom. Appreciate it. For the Hope Lodge and for the King's College. That Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, the music is absolutely awesome. I just, that, you're gonna if you watch that and then you think about what you see when you look at me, you're gonna think, Bob likes that? Well, yeah. Bob has a rather eclectic uh, music assortment that he listens to. Everything from tiny little bit of reggae to uh, some classical. Classical pops like Boston pops I love. Um, Country and western, of course. Not this new garbage that they call country. This is not country music they play today. Country music is Conway Twitty and George Jones. Um, what else? Southern gospel, of course. I love Southern gospel. But anyway, y'all won't, if you watch the Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, you'll love the music, I think. I do. Let's see. Nobody else has come in yet. Looks like it's the three of us for right now. If somebody comes in, I'll bring it up again, but the topic, sort of, from the title. What's everybody doing for Christmas? Staying home with just immediate family around, traveling to go to other families' places, doing something that's totally non-Christmas, like I know neither one of y'all have small kids and y'all are the only ones in here right now, but an example would be going to Six Flags. What's everybody doing for Christmas? Oh, by the way, Tom, you are aware of the fact there's only 2 shopping days left till the day that men do their Christmas shopping, Christmas Eve, right? Let's see. Never saw Sonny James. I did see Conway, Mary Grace. Kayla, I'll be seeing her Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, be over at my in-laws, which is next door to Kayla's house. Be over at my in-laws, and a bunch of the family will be there. There'll probably be, what, Kayla, 20, 22 people there, something like that. And then the closer family, Cindy and her kids and grandkids and spouses and all like that, and my son and his wife and my granddaughter, they all come here for Christmas Day. Let's see. Kayla, you still up in Gatlinburg, or y'all already home? In case y'all missed it, last week or the week before, Kayla's my daughter-in-law. Uh, well, Thomas, don't feel too disappointed because there's not going to be barbecued brisket. Or there is no such thing as barbecued brisket, for one thing. Texans will disagree with me. They call brisket barbecue. Brisket is not barbecue. Barbecue comes from a pig, period. There are other things that can be cooked barbecue style. You can cook chicken barbecue style. You can cook brisket barbecue style. But if it ain't a pig, it ain't barbecue. But anyway, there won't be brisket. 2 reasons. Number one, brisket's about a 20-hour cook. And can't do it Christmas Eve because I'll be over at my in-laws, which means doing it Monday. And Monday, it's supposed to rain most of the day tomorrow. This rain's not going to move out, and I'm not going to get out there in 50-degree weather and rain and try to keep the smoker hot enough to smoke the brisket. So there won't be brisket. There'll probably be turkey and ham. And number 2, the second reason, that was a big cow. She was 1,450 pounds on the hoof. And the briskets were, I was expecting some really big briskets out of that cow. And they weren't that big. They were like 8, 9 pounds apiece. And to feed the crew that'll be over here on Christmas Day, last year, the brisket I did last year was 15 pounds. And it was gone. I mean, there was scraps left. I think the person that ate the most brisket was Kayla's husband, Jeremy. Um, he, he first got just a little piece, like he was cautious about it, but he went back for seconds and thirds, and he put away some brisket. And I was planning on doing that again this year, but they weren't big enough, and the weather's not going to be right to cook brisket, so we'll just do the standard turkey and ham stuff. Let's see. Y'all are just now heading home from Gatlinburg. What is it, about 3 hours, 3.5 hours down to the house from Gatlinburg? Something like that. That's a pretty close estimate. Looks like it's just the three of y'all and plus me, four of us in here. Tom, I know you and Mary Grace saw, and Kayla, I've got a regular that is in here every single Sunday. Lives over in Cartersville, as a matter of fact, June Carden, and she checked in at the very top, just in and out. She was at her work Christmas party. She wanted to stick her head in before we got started. Let's see. Mary Grace, it's quiet as far as how many people are in here, but it's not quiet. The wind's blowing over here and the trees are raising cane. I'm surprised y'all can't hear them. You might be able to hear them because they are noisy out there. Well, Mary Grace, we won't be able to tell even if you put him on camera, because we didn't see enough of him before to know how long it was. Did you really lower his ears big time? It is 10 after. Usually even the folks that straggle in late are here by now. Yeah, this haircut's courtesy of Cindy. Cindy cuts my hair, and I take care of the beard. What, Kayla? Once every 6 months, my beard gets trimmed up a little bit, and Cindy takes care of my hair about once every 6 months. I should get my hair cut more often. I always intend to, and then don't until it's just sticking out from under my ball caps and looking really straggly. Okay, so I told y'all what I was going to do. Well, I guess everybody said what they were going to do. Except for Tom. You said you wanted to be down here for the brisket, but since you aren't going to be down here, I don't think you said what you were doing for Christmas, Tom. Y'all staying there at the house, or? Oh, and Mary Grace. Does Jim's brother come over there for Christmas? Or just your kids? Oh, Tom, I don't like bowl cuts, and a hat cut would be about the same. However, the last time Cindy cut my hair, next time I got in the shower when I went to comb it, combing it wet, I could see a lot of scalp through there. It's getting kind of thin. And I've always said that if I had a receding hairline, if I went bald from the front, just working its way back, that wouldn't be too bad. But I wasn't going to have a little beanie cap up here. And if it ever got to there, I was just going to shave my head. Well, it's getting close to a beanie cap. And I said I was going to shave my head if it got that bad. And Cindy said, if you do that, I'm going to get my hair. And Cindy's got shoulder length hair. And she knows I don't like her to cut it. And she said, if you ever shave your head, I'm going to get my hair cut about that long, and I'm going to get it dyed bright green. I guess I won't be shaving my head anytime soon, right? Thomas, firewood around here is a sore subject right now. I didn't have enough put up, and the week before Thanksgiving, I bought a cord of wood, and I told the people, 16 inches long, because I got a small stove, nothing over 16 inches will fit. I want dry wood. I don't want something that's wet and leaks. I want dry, seasoned firewood. I don't want stuff that's been on the ground drying so long it's rotten. And I want a cord. Well, they brought a third of a cord and said they'd bring the rest the next day, and I paid them part of the money. The next day, they brought another third of a cord, and I got out my moisture meter, and firewood needs to be 20% moisture or less. 15% is ideal, but 20% or less is acceptable. And the stuff they brought me was between 24 and 35% moisture. And I said, all right, that last third that you bring tomorrow better be dry. Not only was it not dry, they never showed up with it. And after the second third, I went ahead and paid them. So they got paid for the whole cord. I got shafted, only got 2/3 of a cord, and it's so wet it practically drips. So we're kind of short on firewood over here right now. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I've got some out there that I've got cut into rounds, but even if I split it today, it'll be 2 months before it's dry enough to burn. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna have to scrape up my pennies in January, because I've got about enough wood to get into January. First week of January, second week of January. I got about enough wood to get into there, and I guess I'm gonna have to scrape up my pennies and first half of January and buy some that is dry, and I'm not handing over the money till I've checked it with my moisture meter and it is a full cord. If I buy a cord this next time, I'm not going to get shafted out of another cord. I got even though. They're local. They do a lot of advertising on Facebook, and I just laid it all out on Facebook, just exactly what had happened with pictures showing the wood seeping water out the end of it when it's trying to burn, showing the same piece of wood that had been laying on hot coals 45 minutes later and still hadn't burned. And I know for a fact I cost them 5 customers. I hope I cost them all their customers. Let's see. Tom, even if you got logs that have been laying on the ground, do you know how long it takes a log to dry? 1 inch a year. If you've got a log 12 inches in diameter, it'll get down to firewood temperature after it's been laying there for about 12 years. Once you split it, it'll speed it up. So there's an old saying, there's an old farmer saying that whatever you want to heat with the coming winter, have it on the ground, cut, split, stacked, and drying by April Fool's Day. Now, I don't think you have to have it that early, but you can't cut stuff this week, cut and stack, split it this week, and burn it next week unless it's been laying on the ground for an awfully long time, and then I'd be worried about it being rotten. I've got wood out there that's been cut. I've got rounds that are off of, okay, I got some logs out there that have been down for about 1.5 years. It's been cut into rounds for about 6 months, and I need to get it split, and it'll be good for burning in a couple of months. But getting anything out of what I've got around here that is ready to burn right now, it's not going to happen. Kayla must have gotten into a bad spot. They were on the road headed home. They must have gotten into a spot that didn't have service. She all of a sudden got really quiet, so it's Mary Grace, Tom, and me. Actually, there's more than that. It says 6 people are watching now. I wonder who hadn't said anything. Even if Kayla's still hooked up and not saying anything, that's Kayla and Mary Grace and Tom and me. That's 4. It says there are 6 watching. Who's out there not talking? Come on in and say hello. when you come in, hit that little thumbs up too. There's 4 thumbs up. Well, that's the 4 that are me and the 3 in the participating in the chat. But supposed to be 6 people watching. I gotta watch my battery too. The phone runs off its own battery. That's no problem. It'll last forever. The gimbal, I've got a 3-axis gimbal that the phone's mounted on. That battery's gonna last. I can do an hour and a half. But my lights run off USB port in my laptop. My laptop wasn't fully charged. And let's see how much time this battery's got left on it at the current usage. Oh, okay, I'm good. I'm still over an hour. I was just going to say if the lights all of a sudden went away, the battery went dead. Hey, Jeremy. Okay, that'll be one of the other ones. That gets us up to 5 watching. Oh, still Kayla using Jeremy's phone. It says that there are 6 watching, and that's somebody still hadn't said hello. Yeah, Tom, Mary Grace, Jeremy is Kayla's husband, but that's still Kayla talking to us. She just got his phone because hers went dead. So how was Gatlinburg anyway? I cannot imagine going to Gatlinburg with 3 small children. They've got 2 boys that are, don't tell me, Kayla, they are 8 and 6. And the little girl is 5. I know how the little girl is because her birthday is about a month away from my son's daughter. They were both born within, I think, within a month and a half of each other. Kayla, what's Addie's birthday? Because my son's daughter, Tori's birthday is May 15th. And I'm pretty sure Addie is within a month and a half of that. Ten cords a year ahead of time is better than I do, Tom. I usually try to have Marion Eagleson. You're new. I don't believe I've seen you in here before. How are you doing? Welcome to Mountain Crest Farm. Yeah, Kayla, I saw that video, or I didn't see it. I don't think you and I are friends on Facebook. But you and Cindy are, I think. Cindy saw the video this morning, and she was wondering about that. I was going to ask you about that when I saw you Tuesday. But anyway, Tom, 10 cords. I try to have a year's worth on the ground and cut and split. But for me, a year's worth, I figure 6 cords. So I like to have 7, 7.5, 8, just to be careful. But you got to remember the health issues bit me in the butt last year about firewood time, and I didn't get near enough cut and split, not even close. Marion, you're from Ackworth. How did you find Mountain Crest Farm? Just curious. I always like to keep up with where the viewers come from. I said 8. Ooh. I said 8 and 6, not 10 and 8. I am lousy on ages. In September, okay. So she's 4 months younger than Tori. I thought she was I didn't think they were but about 2 months apart. Sorry about that. I have a hard time remembering birthdays. I gotta look at my own ID to see when mine is half the time. But mine is coming up. As funny. I am proof that there is nothing to horoscopes and all that stuff. Because if there was anything to horoscopes, and I'm a Capricorn, that would mean that I was similar to, because these people were all born within 4 days. Me, Richard Nixon, uh, Elvis Presley, and there was a fourth, Martin Luther King. We're all born within 4 days of each other. Now you tell me that the four of us are just alike, or even halfway close to alike. I'm sure not like Elvis. I can't carry two in a bucket. Yeah, Mary Grace, January 9th. You're right. Oh, okay, Marion. Is this the first time you've been in a live stream and you just been being quiet, or have you been here before, or what? I was surprised. Kayla, was it last week or the week before when you popped in here? I didn't even know you were a subscriber on my channel. I knew you knew about the channel, but I didn't know didn't know that you were a subscriber on it. Really, Mary Grace? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, me. Oh, okay. I missed you last week, Marion. I'm sorry about that. Or were you talking about Kayla? So, two newbies. Well, one newbie. Marion, tell us about your Christmas plans. That was kind of the subject this week. I got away from homesteading and was just wondering what everybody was going to do for Christmas. And uh, Kayla, well, she shows up as Jeremy, but that's my daughter-in-law. I already knew what she was going to do. I didn't know she was going to be in here. I already knew what she was going to do because Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, she and I will be in the same place. And Mary Grace is going to have her kids and grandkids over, and Tom's going to be staying at home. What's Marion doing for Christmas? I want somebody to say they're going to Switzerland for the week or something like that where there was a lot of snow. Or I want to hear somebody talk about some exotic thing they have planned for Christmas. Kayla, I guess you win the trophy on that one so far. Gatlinburg. That's about as far as anybody's traveling. Mary Grace, yeah, you can make snow angels, but just be sure, be real careful that you don't do it where somebody's already written their name. I heard a good joke about that this week, by the way. Let me see if I can figure a way to clean this up enough to be good for a family channel. Because it is funny. It's not a dirty joke, but it is funny. Um, all the controversy about everybody complaining about public education and not teaching cursive in school anymore. I saw something on Facebook. Somebody asked, if they're not going to teach cursive in school anymore, how are little boys going to write their name in the snow when they pee? I thought that was funny. Oh. Kayla, I barely have 2 pennies to rub together. I can't fly you to Switzerland. I couldn't even fly you in freight and cargo hold. Ah, okay, Marion. Sorry to hear about that. So you're doing this by audio, not really watching the video. Good thing one look at my mug and a lot of people get sick. Marion, if you do it on a laptop or a PC, well, I guess on phones you could too. Talk to text, because I know when I'm texting on my phone, I don't do the thumb thing. I've got talk to text on my phone. So I'll give you a long answer when you ask me a question. If I had to do the thumb thing, you asked me a question that needed a long answer, it'd be, yep, nope. JR, yeah, you're late. You're late, but better late than never. I'm late to half the live streams I go to. I'm always late to Two Cedars Micro Farm over in Alabama. And I'm usually late to the Crockers. Um, and Prep Sitter Bob, his live stream that comes up. Oh, I'm glad I thought about this. Glad we mentioned it, y'all. If you want another live stream night, don't forget, Prep Sitter Bob has the Self-Reliant Roadshow. Channel is the Self-Reliant Roadshow. And the show is on 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, every Sunday night. Tom will probably throw a link to that up in here. Won't you, Tom? A ride along via Marco Polo. JR, that needs some explaining. I understand ride along. Marco Polo, is that a highway? Is it like the Marco Polo byway or the Marco Polo scenic highway? Or that one you got to explain a little bit for us. That's okay, Tom. It's real simple. The channel for the Self-Reliant Roadshow is the Self-Reliant Roadshow. The guy that does it, Prep Sitter Bob, he also has another channel, Prep Sitter Bob. But the one for the live stream on Sundays is the Self-Reliant Roadshow. Mary Grace, does who have an app for what? Marco Polo is an app on a cell phone that allows one caller to bring along others if the call is live. Otherwise, it's like a video message. Oh, okay. So the ride along is when everybody's on there live. Okay. Yeah, it's cool, the apps you can get on phones now. Most of y'all know that I'm a ham radio operator. And do you know there is an app where I can talk on one section of the ham band, not all over the ham, but one section of the ham band on my phone. Sometimes when you want to talk on the radio, if conditions aren't right or something like that, you can't do much talking. But this app works off of repeaters that are all around the world, and there's different channels in the app. I can pick a channel, Eastern Europe, and I'm talking to people in Czechoslovakia and Poland and all out in the old Eastern Europe, old Soviet bloc countries. Another one's just general United States and talking to people all over the United States on a cell phone. There you go. Thomas has the link up for the Self-Reliant Roadshow. JR, if you're out there in Washington, CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. You a ham too, JR? What's your call sign? I'm W4JIC. I was about to do a no-no. I was reaching for my cigarettes. I do not smoke on the channel, on any of my videos. Every once in a while I will slip up and y'all will see a cigarette, but for the most part, I don't smoke on my YouTube channel. I was just then reaching for a cigarette. Oh well. Habit. Bad habit. JR, I am not politically correct. You've been on here and you've seen me enough to know better than that. It's Poland, it's Czechoslovakia. God, I'm drawing a blank on the rest of them. Eastern Europe, old Soviet bloc. That's good enough. Oh, you're in Wyoming. CQDX is CQ at a distance, not just putting out a general call for 5 or 6 states away, but putting out a general call for across the country or usually across the pond. JR, I know you got a tight budget. You're like me, but you would be amazed if you look around. You would be amazed at how inexpensive you can get into ham. Really. Everything I've got a high frequency rig. I've got UHF rig for 2 meter. I've got 2 handy talkies for 2 meter. I even still have a CB radio. And I've got a 40-foot tower that I haven't put up yet, but I've got a 40-foot tower. I run just simple wire antennas except for my 10-meter antenna. I use an Antron 99 for that, and I haven't figured it up exactly, but my total cost for my shack is, I figured it up one time, I think it was $910, but I don't buy anything new. Everything I get's used, and that 910 was spent over a couple of years' time. Oh, hang on just a second. Something popped up on the screen I had to get rid of so I could see. Iron curtain. Mary Grace, I was sitting here just when it was too late to get some before I sat down thinking, you know, I'd like to be sitting here enjoying a cup of coffee or a mug of hot chocolate while I was doing this show tonight, but it was too late to get any. I got off of CB for a long time. When I was 16, 17, 18 years old, I had a CB in my car, and I had a CB base station. I had a Browning Eagle base station. And I don't know, when I was early 20s, I got off of CBs, and when I started driving a truck, I had a CB in the truck, but that was just in the truck for traffic and Smokey Bear. Then I got totally out of radio until about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not a prepper. I hate the term prepper. I despise the term prepper. I used to like the term prepper until that stupid show on TV, Doomsday Preppers, just ruined the name. And now I like homesteader. You know, try to live a self-sufficient lifestyle, as self-sufficient as you can. Don't rely on other people, other places, other things. Try to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can. And part of self-sufficiency to me is an ability to communicate. If power goes out, if cell towers go down, if there's an apocalypse, I can say that word, if there's an apocalypse and end of the world and SHIF situation, Uh, I want to be able to have some communication, find out what's going on in the outside world. So first I got back into CB, and then I slowly started accumulating some ham equipment and got my license. I had no thoughts of making it a hobby. And now, well, okay, y'all have listened to me enough, you know. Bob loves to talk. He loves to hear his own voice. And when we're talking radio, you know it's going to become a hobby because it gives me a chance to talk a lot. So it has turned into a hobby, but it wasn't intended to be that way to start with. Let's see. JR, I'll let you have that one. I have never developed a taste for molasses. I just never have cared too much for it. Oh yeah, JR. I've got mine EMP protected. I don't, if we were to see an EMP, it's not going to be from North Korea. It's going to be when the sun throws off one heck of a solar flare in our direction. That's where an EMP that just makes everything shut down is going to come from. That little sniveling piece of garbage that runs North Korea, he's smarter than that because he knows what would happen if he launched anything, even generally in our direction. He knows that North Korea would simply cease to exist, and that's all I'm going to say on that. That's getting over toward politics, and I stay out of politics on this channel. I love talking politics. Ask Kayla. Kayla, are you still in here? Do I love? Am I a political nut job or what? But I try to keep it off the channel. This is a homesteading channel. Are you still around, Kayla? Well, I guess she's not. None of Grace said she had to take a break. Oh, she didn't say she was taking a break. Evidently, she's able to get coffee and still listen to the live stream all at the same time. Multitasker, huh? That's something I'm gonna, maybe next week, maybe the week after, I'm gonna bring up as a topic. I want y'all to come up with what tools do you have around your house that you use that are supposed to be single-use tools. They are made to do a certain thing. And you have found a way to make them a multitasking tool that'll do more than one thing. Because that falls right into the economics of homesteading. Being frugal, spending as little money as you can and still get the job done right. Y'all be thinking about what you use around your house or homestead that is a good multitasking tool, even though it's only supposed to be a single-use tool. Right at the top of my head comes Mantis Tiller. I've got a small Mantis Tiller, and some of y'all have heard me talk about what else I use it for besides being a tiller. Some of you haven't. But see if you can see what y'all can come up with that a tool that is designed and supposed to only be used for one thing, but you come up with another use for it to make it more useful. Let's see, what have I missed? No, JR, I hadn't had a chance to check with them yet, but I did found something pretty good. There's a store here in town called Cherokee Closeouts. Cherokee County's the next county south of me. We're in Pickens County, Cherokee County south of here. And there's been a store down there called Cherokee Closeouts that is kind of like a local, small, Big Lots. They buy surplus. So I've gone in there. I've gone in Cherokee Closeouts. They opened another store here. I've gone in there and seen Great Value brand pasta sauce. Great Value is Home Depot. Excuse me. Great Value is Walmart. They buy all sorts of stuff. It's kind of like a little small Big Lots, if y'all have Big Lots where you are. I'd gone in there a couple months ago and asked second level manager about because they have all sorts of stuff. It's not just groceries. It's home goods. I was in there the other day and I saw hurricane lamps, oil lamps. I saw exercise bikes. They've got food. They've got all sorts of stuff. And I had asked, a couple of months ago, I had asked one of the second level managers about the food when it got stale dated, not the canned goods and stuff, but things like oatmeal and bread and crackers and all that sort of thing. And he took my name and number, said he'd get back to me. He'd find out if I could get it for the pigs, and he'd let me know. Well, he never called me back. Well, Tuesday, I think, Cindy and I were in there, and I figured it's worth a shot. I'm in here anyway. I asked for the manager, and the big manager came out. He's the manager, and then there's an owner. And I explained to him, and he said, most of our stuff goes to a place in Atlanta that comes up here and picks it up. We donate it to them, and they take the bad stuff and throw it away. He said, I don't know what they do with it. They take the good stuff. It might be stale dated, but it's still okay food, crackers and canned goods, and distribute it to the homeless and things like that. He said, but not the bread. He said, the bread is, once it's stale dated here, it's going to be moldy by the time it goes through the process with them. So we give that to, we've got a guy that feeds it to pigs. I said, well, if you've already got somebody that you're giving it to, I'm not asking you to change that. He said, no. He said, really, the guy doesn't want as much as we give him. We could split it up. He said, let me have your name and phone number, and next time I've got some, I'll give you a call. He called me the next day. He said, we've got some if you can come get it right now. So it just so happened we were in town, we're at the drugstore picking up my prescriptions, which is a block away. We swung around there, we were there in 5 minutes. Went around the loading dock. We were in Cindy's Ford Escape with the two back seats folded forward, where there's nothing but flat back there. We couldn't get but about half the bread he was giving us in there. He was only giving us half of what he had. The other half was for the other guy with pigs. And we couldn't get but half of what he was trying to give us in there. The big bread trays, they're about, they're about 2 feet by 2 feet or 2 feet by 3 feet, and about that tall, and you put bread in and they stack, kind of like milk, they stack like milk crates do. 14 of them full of bread got in the back of that Ford Escape. And we could have gotten 14 more. My pigs have been happy. They're pigs, right? They've been happy as pigs in slop. And that is, and bread, pure carbs, it's great for fattening up pigs. So they've been real happy. And I said, okay, now how often is this? Every 2 or 3? He said, no. He said, that'll be once a week. He said, that'll be once a week. I said, once a week? You're kidding. Nope. We'll have that much for you once a week. So the pigs will be happy for a while. As long as Cherokee Closeout stays in business. I hope they hang around forever. What have I missed now? Kayla, yes he is. You talking about, on politics? No, you don't have to worry about getting me started on politics. Not on this channel. You can ask the folks that have been hanging around here for a while, like Tom and Mary Grace. They've been hanging around here for a while. I keep politics off of this channel. A hand mixer for a hair tie. Save that one for when I do a video just on double use tools, but I'm gonna have to see that one. JR, the problem with most surplus food stores, because I've been to Kroger, I've been to Walmart, I've been to Ingles, those are 3 big grocery stores here, and they won't give you any food. Their lawyers won't let them, because I want their outdated vegetables and things like that, stuff that doesn't look good enough to sell. They have to throw it away. They've got a locked dumpster for that. And I asked them why, and they said, well, Our lawyers say that if we give you the food and you get home and you're broke this week and you're having trouble feeding your family, so instead of feeding that to the pigs, you put it on your family's table and somebody gets sick, then you can sue us. And he's right. And there are people out there that would sue. It wouldn't matter that they had lied about what they were going to do with it, but there's people out there that would sue. And because of that, these big corporations that have grocery stores, they won't give you food anymore. Because they're liability-wise, they just can't. And that's a shame. That makes me want to whip some butts of some lawyers that would sue for over stuff like that. You know, every time a lawsuit's filed, the lawyer for the side that loses should have to pay the legal fees. They wouldn't be so quick to jump in there and sue people. A valid suit, I got no problem with. A BS suit, I've got serious problems with. Let's see. Yeah, Kayla, the only trouble is, number one, I got plenty of bread now, thanks to Cherokee Closehouse. And number two, Blue Ridge is way on up there. It wouldn't be worth it to go up to get a load of bread. Cherokee Closehouse, I drive 6 miles down here. I already knew about the Blue Ridge store, and I'd already talked to them, and they'd have plenty of bread. But I did logistically, it just, by the time you count gas and time, I'm just about better off buying just more pig food. Good idea, though. No, JR, not going to need roof racks. Next time we're not going in the Ford Escape, we're going in my pickup truck. $600 loaves in your truck, Tom? JR, you're nice when you call them ambulance chasers. I call them bottom-feeding pond scum. Generational Homestead, Merry Christmas. Welcome. Glad to see you in here. The topic tonight, we were just discussing something else, generational homestead. I can't just call you generational. What's your name? Tom, Steve, Frank, Susan, Billy? Anyway, what we were talking about tonight is what everybody's going to do for Christmas. Wesley. I've never seen Wesley spelled that way, but that works. You're absolutely right, JR, and that's getting really close to politics, so that's all I'm going to say on that. I swear I'm going to have to get my political channel back going again. There's a channel out there besides Mountain Crest Farm that I haven't put a video on in about 3 years. That's got about 280, 290 videos on it, I think, that was pure politics. And I quit doing it about 2 or 3 years ago. I keep threatening to start it back up. Now you got me curious. You one of my customers? Let's see. Generational Homestead. Take care of my animals and hope for baby pigs. You have got me curious now, Generational. Do I know you other than on here? And I'm just being a little bit dense. Should it just all of a sudden the light bulb be going off who I'm talking to? know I've got some viewers that are planning on buying pigs from me in the spring. Oh, okay, you've got 3 pigs. What breed do you raise, generational, Wesley? What breed of pigs do you raise? You know, everybody else in here, when we start talking about pigs, they're saying, "Oh, there goes Bobby. You're going to talk about pigs forever now." No, I won't talk about them forever. But what breed of pigs do you raise, generational, Wesley? I've got 4 girls out there right now that should be pregnant. They should be starting to bag. I'm figuring they're going to probably farrow first week of January, which really sucks. I did not want to have pigs the first week of January. I've had baby pigs on Christmas Day here. Kayla was here. We looked out the back door, and all of a sudden somebody said, "There's little pigs running around out there," and they were outside the fence, and went out there to catch them, and there were some other ones that were brand new, been born on Christmas Day. It was a cold, wet, chilly, rainy day, and I don't want that to ever happen again. These got pregnant because the boar decided that little old fence that I had up was not going to stop him from getting to the sows that were smelling just right. And he busted through the fence, and if my estimation on time is right, and if he did what he intended to do, which I'm pretty sure he did, first week of January. So they should start bagging any day now, start showing a little bit of milk. I don't have any babies right now, Kayla. The smallest thing I got out there is about 30 pounds. I got 3 little 30-pounders, and I got 3 about 70, I'm guesstimating 70, 75 pounds. Well, G and G are here. No, D and D, not G and G. Dave and Darcy, how y'all doing today? Dave and Darcy is Two Cedars Micro Farm for you folks in the chat. Just came in. I call them D and D because I never know who's typing. Y'all are running a little bit late tonight, aren't you? Or was I just early? I'll swear I keep getting notifications popping up on the screen where I can't see my chat. For those of you who watch Out West Homestead, they just posted a video. They're nice folks. Susie and Bill, Out West Homestead, they're out in southern New Mexico. They're really nice folks. I wonder why they don't do any live streams. They do about a video every day, but I don't think they've ever done a live stream. It's doing a slow, easy, steady rain here, Dave and Darcy. Started about midnight last night, 11, 12 o'clock last night, and it's been raining ever since. It's going to rain until tomorrow afternoon. But we haven't had any downpours. I've been watching the weather, and y'all are getting hammered over there. Y'all in Mississippi both are getting hammered pretty good, and it's kind of slacked up by the time it gets over here. Yeah, Tom, yeah, it's cats and dogs over there in Alabama because they're getting hammered, and I guess over here we're just getting kittens and puppies. Well, that's about what happens on the coast of Washington, JR. That's awfully wet out there on the west side of the Cascades. Snow on the east side of the Cascades and just rainforest practically on the west side. Here's a little known fact. If y'all like trivia, you'd think when you're getting up north, there's going to be a lot of snow, and everybody's got snow plows and all like that. Do you know, as big as the city of Seattle is, Seattle does not own a single snowplow because they don't need it. They get rain, they don't get snow. And Seattle does not own a single snowplow. But I'll tell you nothing, since I got started on trivia. Something else about Seattle. Do you know the term Skid Row started in Seattle and how it got started? There was an area where they used to bring logs in over the mountains, and they were putting them down into the water to put cables around them and boom them up so they could move the whole, it was called a raft of logs, so they could move the logs. And when they pushed them over the mountain, there was this one spot where it was a straight shot down to the water. And they'd push logs down that straight shot, skidded them down the mountain, this one spot, and it was called Skid Row. And along both sides of it, because it was muddy, messy area, because nothing ever grew because of the logs that were sliding down, on both sides of it is where today you would call them homeless or whatever, it's where the bums lived. And that's how the term Skid Row got started, from skidding logs down the mountain in Seattle. Let's see. JR, we're even worse here. Now, this is Georgia, it's in the south, but we laugh around here. If they forecast that there's going to be 2 snowflakes tomorrow, you better get off your butt, get in the car, and go to the grocery store, because if you don't hurry, there won't be any milk and bread left. All the milk and bread just I don't guess anybody eats anything else during snowstorms or during forecast snow, even a flurry. If a flurry in the mountains is forecast, and the mountains are 40 miles north of you, all the bread and milk is going to disappear. I don't guess anybody ever cooks hamburgers when there's snow forecast, because it's just bread and milk. It all disappears. Oh, and the liquor stores get pretty empty too. D&D agrees with me that all the bread and milk disappears. I don't know what it is about the South, but all the bread and milk disappears just that quick. As soon as one weatherman says one word about the possibility of snow, boom, no more bread and milk. Well, folks, I have been going for over an hour. We've got 9 in here, and there's not that many talking, I don't think. Somebody's just sitting back watching quietly, and that's okay. If y'all would, if you like the video, if you like the channel, well, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe, and don't forget, if you subscribe, also hit the bell so you get notifications whenever the next video goes up. All y'all weren't in here. I skipped off on the very first. I skipped some of the house cleaning stuff that I do, and since there's people in here now that, because everybody that was here at that point had already heard it a bunch of times, but since there's some folks in here that haven't been in here real regular, I'll go through it again. If you have some money that you just really want to donate to a good charity, I don't like big charities. I don't like things like the pick one, American Red Cross. I don't like big charities. But one charity that, my favorite charity, is a thing called the Atlanta Hope Lodge. Hope Lodges are part of the American Cancer Society, and I do not donate to the American Cancer Society. But they have a Hope Lodge program in about 35 cities. Places where cancer patients stay for free if they live over 60 miles from where they're being treated. There's one in Atlanta. And that's where I stayed for 2 weeks when I was getting radiation treatment after my surgery. Not last year, but it's almost last year. That's where I stayed. And that is, to me, that's a charity that's well worth the money. The place is awesome. If you go back to April, there's a video on here that tells about it. And if you want to donate some money to a good charity that does good work, the Atlanta Hope Watch, that would be a good one. I do have a book out. I wrote a book 3 years ago now. Yesterday I couldn't spell pig farmer, and today I are one. Never raised pigs, but you think you might want to. It's a good book. It's not in print. It's a Kindle book. It's available on Amazon in their Kindle library. If you're a Prime member, you can read it for free because they have a lending library. And if you're not a Prime member, I think it's $8.99, something like that. What else? There's an Amazon link down in the description. If you buy anything off of Amazon and you don't have a link that you use to help somebody else out, some other channel or whatever, I've got links to several specific products down in the description, but there's also a link, just a general Amazon link. If you will use that link to get to Amazon, I get a tiny little commission off of whatever you buy, and I'd appreciate it. That's about it, except for the thumbs up, which I told you about, and subscribe, which I told you about, and the bell when you subscribe. I like ringing the bell. The bell when you subscribe so you get notifications. And about all that's left is, number one, y'all have an awesome, awesome Christmas. I'm going to. And remember what Christmas is about. And it's not about gifts. And it's not about football games. Remember what Christmas is about. And it's easy. Well, no, it's not easy. It is simple to have an awesome Christmas. It is simple to have an awesome day. Just remember two real simple things. Number one, the tomb was empty. And number two, he is alive. Now, I'll have some videos out this week. I'll see you in them, and we'll see you at the next live stream, which is next Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern. And don't forget, Prepsteader Bob has the Self-Reliant Roadshow tonight and every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Another live stream here on YouTube if you like live streams and homesteading type stuff. That's what it'll be about. So y'all have a fantastic week, a great Christmas, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.